Oh, Murray keeps it. Murray being chased by Witherspoon. Floats for Wilson. Off target to Kobe Bryant. And there goes Kobe Bryant. With a house call for Seattle.
Welcome back to your Valley Sports Plugs Arizona Cardinals recap for Week 12 of the 2024-2025 season. I'm Chris Patrick with Michael Benjamin and VSP Tallman. We're here to break it all down for you. Week 12 had your Arizona Cardinals on the road after the bye week for the first of two meetings with the Seattle Seahawks. The Cardinals averaged more than 29 points per game in their previous three, but the Seahawks held them to 298 total yards and 49 rushing while sacking Kyler Murray 5 times. The Redbirds were unable to find the end zone in this one, and the final score was 6-16 Seattle. The Cardinals' record now 6-5 on the season and tied for that top spot in the NFC West. Obviously not the outcome we were looking for in this one. So Tallman, what are your thoughts on this Week 12 matchup?
All right, fellas. It was the battle for first place in the NFC West. And I had a bad feeling about this game. First time we're going to be seeing the Seattle Seahawks. And then the golden question was, did the bye week come at a good time? We all kind of felt, yeah, it was good, right? As long as we kept that momentum. This team did not keep the momentum. We came out absolutely flat out of the bye. Kyler Murray's historically bad in Seattle, and we saw that again today. We've lost 6 straight against Seattle now, and we are going to be facing them again in 2 weeks. So, I mean, if we want to win this division, we're going to have to find out a way to beat Seattle. But this game, offensive line was just terrible. I mean, you get Jonah Williams back, and we're thinking, great. You know, this offensive line has played incredible over the last 3-4 games. This is only going to benefit them. It was the complete opposite. Our two most solid guys, I mean, you had Paris Johnson. He had that holding call, negated the touchdown from Michael Wilson. I mean, you had Yoel Froholdt just getting smashed. And then the stat I heard this morning was Kyler was getting pressured on over 40% of his dropbacks. He had people running all over him. I mean, and it showed because he missed open receivers. He missed Trey McBride in the end zone. I don't know how we expect, a 5'10" quarterback to be able to find these open guys when people are running out all over him. So that was concerning just to see the step back that this offensive line has taken. And then the run game being abandoned again. James Conner had 7 touches. What was the final score? 16-6. This game was within reach all the way up until that last possession. I don't understand it. Just like that Detroit game. I don't understand it. You're a top 5 team in the NFL running the football. That is your identity. Even if he's going nowhere, you got to hope that he's going to be able to break one off, or we got to stay balanced, man. We got to stay balanced. But I'm going to give some props to Michael Wilson. Okay, the catch was incredible. I was watching it and I was like, there's no way he caught that. There's no way he caught that. Then the replay and I was like, holy hell, he caught that. But then even his heroics, we stall in the red zone. And then that was the same after that catch. That was the drive where Kyler Murray missed Trey McBride wide open in the end zone. And then we had to settle for the field goal. Next possession, I was jacked up. Next possession, Seattle on the first play. You had that tip pass from Geno. You thought Kaiser White came up with that pick, but clearly it was on the ground. But that would have just been a total game changer right there. But then Seattle goes, they bleed the clock. I think it was like 7 or 8 minutes there in the fourth quarter. And then they drill a 40-yard field goal to make it a 2-possession game. The turning point was that 4th and 1, right? That 4th down where Kyler Murray came out of the backfield, threw a terrible pass. It was intercepted and was returned for a touchdown. I think it was like 68, 69 yards. It's horrible. I mean, I don't want to talk about his size, but let's talk about how in short yardage situations, having an undersized quarterback really limits what your playbook is like in that scenario. Have we ever seen that guy do a QB sneak? We're so predictable in those situations. You're going to run Clayton Tune out there for the tush push. We've seen how that works. I mean, he comes out of the backfield and he needs to decide, am I going to try to turn the jets on and get the corner on this guy? Or am I really going to stay with the throw? It was like, you see, he wasn't running very fast because he was trying to get that pass and then he threw it well over the head. It gets picked off. It sucks. It sucks that, we can't pull off QB sneak. We can't pick up a yard. And then there's the other idea of, okay, why don't you just hand it off to James Conner? I mean, I understand throughout the entire game, he was getting nowhere with it. So I get where you're trying to, have a play call where you have a better chance of picking it up, but it was blown up right off the bat. And I think that right there was the turning point of the game. It was just not going to happen for this team. But hey, we get another shot in 2 weeks against them. So we'll see how that goes.
Gentlemen, some of our fears did come to fruition. It seems like the Arizona Cardinals offense had 2 bye weeks, as they were no-shows except for Trey McBride, setting a tight end record for the Arizona Cardinals. What a stud. But, man, there were just a couple of glaring things, and I almost was starting to have flashbacks from that Week 3 performance against the Detroit Lions. The score really didn't tell how this game really went. Gentlemen, the Seattle Seahawks had so much more energy and physicality than the Arizona Cardinals did on both sides of the football. I mean, Leonard Williams was living in the backfield, making Kyler Murray's day an absolute disaster, it seemed like, even though his stats might say otherwise for some. But if you just kind of look at what was happening on the defensive end too, like we were struggling with tackles. And this is one of the things that I start to worry about as we get farther within this season with even just semi-mobile quarterbacks. A lot of sack opportunities where Geno Smith just took one shimmy to the side and we can't bring him down. I'm thinking about that long drive in the fourth quarter on that third down, where if you make that stop, you give the ball back to your offense with an opportunity to go tie the game. And we just couldn't make those plays at all on Sunday. It was tough to watch. Yeah, it was just a game of missed opportunities. You think about Marvin Harrison Jr.'s catch in the end zone. A lot of people were saying, well, does it count as 2 feet down if he hits the pylon? I don't know. I'm not an NFL referee. We'll do a dive into the rule book. But yeah, it was just those little things. And obviously the big one, which Tallman talked about, the 4th and 1 opportunity where Kobe Bryant, he strikes the valley once again, just this time in a Seattle Seahawks uniform. I will say, gentlemen, I loved the call. All right. Obviously, it's not what we wanted. It was the worst possible outcome. But I want Kyler Murray to have those opportunities to continue drives every once in a while. You got to keep teams off a pace. He just was outmatched by that speed from Witherspoon out to the edge. And he made the right decision trying to get the ball out of his hands, but he just wasn't calm enough. And that ball sailed horrendously. But we continue to fight to live another day. The beautiful thing about the NFC West, the Niners and the Rams both lose, so we're still tied for first place, and we have the Seattle Seahawks coming up once again at home. I hope this team will be able to look themselves in the face and make the proper adjustments. And like Tallman said, continue to feed the beast of James Conner and set the tone, because that is how this Arizona Cardinals team is going to win. Overall, guys, it was a stinker. What do you expect? It was a gloomy day in Seattle. We don't love Seattle, and it showed yesterday. But let's keep it rolling. Let's go to Minnesota, man. Let's catch a dub. Why not?
That's right, Mike. A chance to bounce back. Coming up in Week 13, the Arizona Cardinals will travel to Minnesota for a matchup with the Vikings. This game will be held on Sunday, December 1st. Kickoff slated for 11 a.m. Arizona time. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep bringing you an Arizona Cardinals recap every week this season. So make sure you like and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the Valley Sports and Arizona Cardinals action. But for Michael Benjamin and VSP Tallman, I'm Chris Patrick, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Cardinals fans, it's time to stand and bring